Hi, and then.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, you look so bright today.
Thank you.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us in today's episode.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So may I ask, like why did you decide to contribute to the well-being of people, like creating an energetic and comfortable environment and Dreamplex to be exact?
Good question. Big question. I could spend a lot of time on that, but we won't because we don't have hours to talk about that. But basically, as an old person, having worked for many years, I have experienced many work situations that are really good and many workplaces that are really bad. And I know, and I'm sure that all the mentees will notice soon enough, that sometimes coming to work isn't all that great. Even though work can be really great, because it can be the place where you learn more about yourself and where you grow your personality and your sense of why you're here, and you grow your professional skills and you grow your network, and there's great things that you can get from work, but it isn't always great. And so basically over the last few years I've really been thinking about what do the best workplaces in the world have in common? What can we learn from that? And how can we basically offer that as a service to companies? So we have studied Google and Facebook and Adobe and Salesforce and SAP and maybe in Vietnam VNG and TP and FPT, all these companies that have really thought about what is it like to come to work here, and have created a great environment for people to come to work. And that's where things like well-being really play a big role, especially now the trend really goes towards making people feel healthy at work, making people feel balanced at work, making people feel like they are mentally okay. And so we have really sort of looked into what are those things that contribute to having a great day at work, and that's kind of what we're doing from the perspective that we all spend so much time at work. I think I ran the calculation one time. Most people spend between 80,000 and 100,000 hours in their life working. So if we make work great, we make your whole life great. Yeah. And that's why we spend so much time and energy on creating a better place to work.
I see. Yeah. So what are the key factors you look from an employee in particular and from a team in general?
Okay, another big question. Important question. So when it comes to individual employees, I think the biggest thing for me, and I'm sure many employers would agree, is the importance of a sense of purpose, motivation, passion, drive, ambition. I think usually those things are much more important than maybe the school you came from or the prior work experience you had. Because at the end of the day, if you're motivated, if you're passionate about something that you're doing, you can learn anything. But you can have all the knowledge in the world and all the expertise in the world, but if you're not excited about what you're doing, it's never going to work out for you, right? So I think that's really the first thing that I would look for in any employee. And then also a sense of curiosity, a sense of wanting to learn, wanting to grow, wanting to develop. That's very important when you're hiring people. So on the employee side, I would say that's really it. On the team side, this is where we left off. So on the team side, the most important thing on top of the individual qualities of an individual employee, the best teams create an output that's bigger than the individual contributions of the team members. And the way to get there, I think, is through two key, we should call it soft skills, which is on the one side, empathy, and on the other side, kindness. So the people that I would try to hire are not only young and energetic and ambitious and have passion and drive, but they also work well with other people because they're kind and because they're empathetic. I think teams run a lot better when people, even though we are all very different, we have different personalities, different things we like and don't like, but if we're empathetic, we can put ourselves into other people's shoes, we can understand where they're coming from, and that kind of resolves a lot of conflicts, or maybe prevents a lot of conflicts, and really allows the team to run well. And if on top of that you're also a very kind person, it works even better. So I would say from a team perspective, empathy and kindness are incredibly important.
So amazing. Like, this is the very first time I heard someone tell me, like, empathy and kindness. It's key factors. Yeah.
It really is key, and I think what you're seeing right now, especially sort of in the post-COVID workplace, which we are in Vietnam, right? Sort of like we've gone through most of the COVID stuff, and now the workplaces are opening up, and people coming back, sort of really understanding that even for the biggest introverts in the world, they come to the office, they come to work because they want to collaborate with people, because they want to connect with people. And so empathy is really important. You could even say something like EQ, right? So you can be really smart, but if you don't have any people skills, if you don't know how to interact with people, it's going to be really hard to work in a team, to contribute to a team. And there's only so many people or so many employers that would hire someone purely for their individual skills. It really is about how well can you contribute to your team, to the larger organization. So that's why those skills, those soft skills, that EQ is so important, especially in the modern workplace.
Can you say something to inspire the audience here?
Okay. So that's like asking a comedian to tell a joke on the spot. Just say something inspiring. I would say that, again, all the things that maybe I just said sound quite daunting, sounds like, oh, that sounds like a lot of pressure on me, sounds like a lot to do. I think the most important thing for people to realize is that they have control over their lives. And the more that you realize that, you are not whatever your situation is, you are not whatever life has dealt to you in terms of the cards that you have, right? You can always take ownership of whatever part of life that you can control. And I would say if there's one thing that people take away, I would say do that. First, understand that you are in control over your life. You are in control over the choices that you make. And two, use that opportunity. So take control. Don't live life in passive mode, right? Be proactive. Look at where you are, look at where you want to be, and pursue it, and go for it, right? And I really think, going back to the very first question, when you then come into an interview room, or when you're doing an elevator pitch at a networking session or whatever it is, people will feel like, wow, this person is present, is living in the moment, is understanding where they are, and they totally feel like they're excited about what they're doing. And I think that's a huge advantage right now.